offender, biological fathers. Every red dot on that map is at least one unique IP address. And your average offender has 13 victims in their lifetime.
12 and under.
Over 3,000 of them were infants or toddlers. And do you know the number one payer of live stream of boys and girls around the world?
Shawn Ryan hosts Team Tebow. Team Tebow is a guy that is fighting against child. I don't want to mention the name, it's so heavy, but if you are an adult and watching this, you will be able to fill in the gap. Every red dot represents a human being. Brace yourself, guys, because you're about to see and hear something that is about to change your life. It might change your life for good or for bad, but it all depends on how you want to handle it. And once you see it, show your loved ones for safety. Just in case you couldn't fill in the gap, what you should know is that your child or your little loved one might be in danger under your own very nose. And I saw this video as a father. I wouldn't forgive myself if I don't share it so that other people would see it. And I would like you to do the same. And hit the like button so that the algorithm will push it to other people so that they can see it as well. And also comment and tell me what you think. Let's jump right into this video.
But specifically, our heart is to get to as many and leverage anything and everything we can so that they can get out of this evil. And as I mentioned earlier, you think so much is done by all these groups and gangs, and yes, that does take place in a lot of areas, but man, it's overwhelming when you think how much is done by families, by friends, by those in the trusted circle, and especially when we talk about the fight against child and child. It's off the charts of what is being done in the families. And you know, it's I don't know if I want to say most disappointing, but maybe one of the most heartbreaking is, do you know the number one offender? Biological fathers. And it's not going to make your day, but I brought a map to share with you. Is this map? And every red dot on that. So first of all, that is a DOJ law enforcement map. It's called the Red Dot Map. And this is over the last 30 days, and every red dot on that map is at least one unique IP address of individuals downloading, sharing, distributing child under the age of 12. And there's over 111,000 of them just in the US of the last 30 days.
I don't know if you heard him right, but he said, just in case you didn't hear it, 11,000 IP address. And all these are children under the age of 12 within 30 days. And you know what's scary? I decided to, search a little bit more, and I realized that in 2022, the number of kids in the United States that were below the age of 12 was about 45 million, which I know from 2022 till now, it must have reduced, right? And then I did a math, and I realized at some point he's going to say, he said that an average offender gets involved with a child in the lifetime about 13 kids, 13, okay? And then when I did the math, I realized that in a year, about half of the population of kids below the age of 12 would be affected. And what strikes me even more is that the fathers are involved. And then I ask my question, how do you protect a child from their father? let me not even say what I want to say. Let's go.
And I wanted to bring that because I think it brings to life so much of the evil that we're trying to face. And people will say, well, that's just over there and it's in those countries and it's all of those places. And it's not. Shawn, it's right here in our backyard. It is right here. And out of everyone, and some people will say, okay, well they're just downloading and sharing it and distributing it, but they're not. 55 to 85% are also hands-on offenders, and your average offender has 13 victims in their lifetime. 13 victims. Every one of those red dots is there's a boy or girl that is suffering on the other end of what they're sharing, downloading, or distributing. And I wanted to share that with you because I know that your heart breaks for them. And I think that map brings to life the evil that we're trying to fight. And it's why, one of our hearts is to get the Renewed Hope Act passed through Congress, because it takes the law enforcement officers right now and victim identification officers at C3, and they're amazing. Some of my favorite people in the world, but there's 7 of them right now at C3.
There's how many?
7.
How do you explain that it's only 7 people handling this? What is our priority? It's protection of life. It should be the most important. Honestly, and the future is worrisome. Especially when an average offender does this to about 13 kids in their lifetime. This is crazy.
7 people to
yes, and also ICACs are working on that. We love ICAC, and we need to enhance their funding because they desperately need it. Internet crimes against children, and they're awesome. 62 locations around the country, but primarily the ones that are also working on this are at C3. And we want to get the Renewed Hope Act passed because it would take it from 7 to 200. And now we have a much greater chance if we have all of those officers that are trained and equipped to be fighting against this evil. And again, that's the last 30 days. And that's not getting into live streaming, extortion, or grooming, or so many of the other issues we're fighting. That is just in peer-to-peer networks of them sharing and distributing child images under the age of 12.
This is 12 and under.
12 and under.
111,423 unique IP addresses.
And some people will say, well, that's just, they're just downloading it and they're just sharing it. And no, it's not just that easy. You have to go in, you have to download it, just, a peer-to-peer, and then you have to be able to download all of these images, and then you're sharing them. It's not like this just happens by accident. It's not like, oh, I just looked at a bad picture, and it's not like this is a photo of a baby in a bathtub. No, so many of these are brutal children. And when we go back to those 50,000 boys and girls that are unknown in the ICSA database that we were talking about before, out of those 57,000, over 3,000 of them were infants or toddlers.
I'm about to walk off because this is not looking good, okay? But before I do, let me show you what the Bible has to say about this. And this might help someone, okay? And this is Matthew chapter 18. If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it will be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. Well, although when Jesus Christ was saying this, he was generalizing it. It wasn't just about the little kids. All of us are the children of God. But here is where it got serious. But don't even trivialize this verse, because most of those kids, they grew up as an adult having problems, psychological problems, because of molestation and stuff like that. But here is where it got serious. In verse 10, it says, "See that you do not despise one of these little ones." Check this out. "For I tell you that the angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven." It simply means that Yeah, we all have angels. But guess what? The angels of those little ones, those kids, these underage ones, 12 years and under, we're talking about, they have angels. And these angels see face to face with God all the time. Like they are like closer to God. So while you're doing what you're doing, or whoever is doing what they're doing, just know that these guys are special. They have a special place in the heart of God. Let's continue.
And so if you say what's on our heart, and these are boys and girls that can't fight for themselves. They can't defend themselves. And yet, so many of us, myself for so long, did nothing to defend or stand up for them. And it is our heart that we would rally an army, and maybe we would even declare a national emergency to fight this evil. If this is happening in our backyard, and out of all those that have been rescued from, or out of all those that have been, safeguarded and rescued from Renewed Hope 1, 2, and 3, more than half of those boys and girls have been right here in the U.S. So we think it's over there, it's over there, it's over there. No, yes, it is happening in other places, but it is happening in our country, right here, in our neighborhoods, in our backyards, in our families. And then we get into the fight against live streaming. And do you know the number one payer of live stream of boys and girls around the world? U.S. Not close. And in peer-to-peer sharing, we're third. China, Russia, America. Sorry, I do get fired up about it.
I do too, man. It's how are you combating this?
Well, we're trying to do it in every area, in every way possible, whether that's with partnerships and nonprofits and law enforcement and rallying and task forces and legislation and lobbying, trying to get them to enhance the army per se in fighting this. And that's really what the Renewed Hope Act is for. But it's also getting the Renewed Hope operations more and more and more. And we're having more and more every day. But it's also, creating awareness. And I hate to use awareness because people say it all the time, and I don't want awareness for awareness sake. I want people to be aware so we act to do something. I think we really have to change laws and legislation, and I believe there's a lot of people in Congress and in DC that want to change it, but we have to get it done. We have to protect these boys and girls. And I know we have to figure out budgets and balances and all these important things, but what does it matter if we figure out a budget but our boys and girls in our backyard are being like, let's make the main thing the main thing. This should be a main thing.
Let's make the main thing the main thing. I mean, family is the main thing, and it should come first, honestly. And it's kind of sad that here in the States and maybe some other developing countries, developed countries rather, you have parents working very hard, even the mothers. They work very hard too, trying to pay bills and, debts and all that, giving them not enough ample time to take care of their kids. Not to say that it's only meant for the woman, but honestly, I've come to realize that women do a better job. They give birth to their kids, and the next thing they're off to work because they have to pay their bills. So I, for one, think that the law and the legislation should, look into giving women the ample time to nurture their children. This is just me thinking. And you would say, what about the fathers who might be, doing this to the children? Just like he said, the records are crazy. And with that being said, I would say, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. And this brings us to Christ. I believe that before we get married, we should check the fruits of someone we are getting down with, just to make sure that they are what their values are, if they really love God. Because honestly, the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, because this is stupid. I'm sorry I'm getting fired up because a man who does this to a child is stupid. He's not wise. This is me talking, honestly. And finally, I wish, I know it's hard, that religion or Christianity pretty much is incorporated into the school system, especially if America really believes in God we trust. Praying and having like a Christian religious knowledge embedded in their studies so that these children will also even learn. But it doesn't need to be mandatory, maybe optional if you want to partake. And I know that it's going to help a little. It's going to help a lot. But then, this is me talking. Let me know what you guys think. And Father Dan Rahel had a problem like this. And if you would like to see this video, watch the next video. And kindly like, subscribe, and share this so that others will see it. And tell me what you think. And I'll see you next time. Peace.